You've got one.
Hey, and that red light means we are live, everybody. Welcome. I am Chef Eric Eisenbud. Welcome to the Grateful Chef with Eric Eisenbud weekly Facebook Live cooking show that we bring to you each and every Wednesday night or thereabouts. And we're doing real life cooking here, not just me, but with you. We are doing this together. I'm not in this alone. So you experience the successes and the not so many failures, but they do happen. And we also have with us Lynn, who is the camera woman. She is the producer of the show and the wind beneath my wings. And so we are celebrating Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, that one day a year that we tell the people that we love them.
Oh, you say that so much more often than once.
Doesn't that sound terrible? We don't need a special day to tell the people that we love them, right? But, you know, someone wants to sell a lot of greeting cards. So we have Valentine's Day. And, we got the rose. Stop and smell the roses. Awesome. And today, so we're doing something. If you're wondering, what am I going to do for Valentine's Day? Yes, you could go out to a restaurant. Restaurants are jam-packed. You have to make your reservations well in advance. And as much as people in the food industry love to have a full restaurant, there's a little pet peeve, that it gets full on Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. But what about the rest of the time of the year? So make sure that you visit your local mom and pop restaurants as often as possible, not just on the special occasion days. They would greatly appreciate that. That comes from experience. I know, trust me. I'm not just a chef, but I play one on TV right here in the Grateful Chef kitchen. So as always, I have much gratitude for you guys joining me each and every week. If it's your first time here, please say hello. Tell us where you're at. Say something nice and beautiful to your Valentine. Lynn will be reading the comments as best she can, relaying questions to me as best she can. She's in 5 different sites. My 2 pages on Facebook, the Grateful Chef with Eric Eisenbud group, my personal page, and we're doing on the Steak Ager pages because we are featuring dry aged beef tonight. And that dry aged beef was done in the Steak Ager Pro 40. So we are including everybody in the pool today. So what are we making? We are making, because love is in the air, we are making a classic, elegant, but simple dish called Steak Diane. It is a classic. It's one of the legacy recipes. And it's basically a mustard-based cream sauce. We do it with filet mignon. You can elevate it and add a little crab meat and put on top if that's what you want to do. You can do a surf and turf with Steak Diane and maybe a couple scallops. There's a million things. So this is a recipe I've made before. Anyone that's followed me for a long time may have seen us make this before. What's cool about it is, like most recipes, I make it verbatim the first time, see what I like, and then I make changes. So I'm going to throw in a couple of sideball additions that are not in the recipe, at least the recipe I'm using. So Steak Diane, really great. We're serving it on what I call a potato flour. It's basically very thinly sliced potatoes. I arrange them to look kind of like a flour, and I put them in the oven so you get some crispy potato chip-like edges and the middle stays nice and soft. It makes a great bed for this amazing recipe. So, we're going to get right to it. We are waiting on a special guest tonight who will be introduced upon his arrival, which should be any minute now. It's raining here, the Uber's running late, etc., etc. All right. Here we go. Steak Diane, we're using filet. Now, usually when we dry age beef, we want to dry age big hunks of meat. However, every so often I'll do a tenderloin because the tenderloin does benefit from a short age. So we don't need to put it in there a long time to make it tender because it's already tender. But what we're doing is we are concentrating the beef flavor, and I did it for 15 days. So you're removing some of the moisture, some of that beef flavor is getting concentrated, the color gets absolutely beautiful. I'm going to show you one of these right here. Oh, and he's just as big as he looks online. So here we have, this was a prime tenderloin. You can see the beautiful marbling in this piece of meat. And look at that mahogany color. That is from the dry aging process. So we only did 15 days. I wouldn't go much longer. You do get some of the pellicle. You got to cut it off. But hey, that's par for the course. Of course, we use the pellicle for other things. So this is really great. You get a nice nutty flavor. And what happens is with tenderloin, you get that texture that you usually only get when you have it in a restaurant that, you know, ages the meat. So here's that side muscle piece. Here's what it looks like with the pellicle on. Not too pretty, so we cut it off. And that is what we're having tonight. Awesome. What is up?
How you doing, man?
All right. So we have in the house, South Carolina representing, not only South Carolina, but we love over-the-road truckers, man, because they keep this country moving. So we have lots of gratitude. And guess what? He was going to be in New Jersey, so he reached out to me and said, hey, how can I come to your show? And I said, get in an Uber, basically, right?
Hey, man,
So welcome, Dominic. Can I call you Dom?
Yeah, call me
All right, calling him Dom. Awesome. So glad you're here. It's fantastic.
Glad to be here.
So we are going to get right to this recipe. We're going to get cooking. First thing I want to do is this kind of cooks real quick. So we're going to do a quick sear, and then we're going to make the sauce, and we're going to sit them in the sauce. They're going to finish cooking in the sauce. But what you want to do is you want to take this, and these are about 4-ounce pieces. You want to just kind of flatten them down to about an inch. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to flatten these down. How many am I going to cook today, honey? 4?
Whatever you got.
5? Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to need more than 1.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good with 1.
Luna's good with 1.
I'm guessing Dom.
Dom and I'll kill the rest of them. All right, so we're going to see if I can fit 6 in the pan. All right, so we've gotten them nice and flat. I'm going to move this over here, put them back over here. We're going to season them with salt. Salt only because, and we've talked about this before, if you sear with pepper, the pepper tends to burn and turns bitter. So we're going to do a nice little salting on the outside, flip them over. And we're going to get right to cooking them in our pan. And I'm using carbon steel today. I'll let that pan get hot. Salt the other side. Why do we do it from so high up, honey?
So it disperses evenly?
No. So they're highly seasoned.
Oh, man.
That old gag. All right.
So it disperses evenly?
Yeah, so it disperses evenly. All right. Crank this pan. Let's go over to the stove and do our first part of the recipe. So we are going to use a blend of olive oil and butter. So we're going to put the olive oil in, and we're going to add the butter. The butter is going to add a little flavor. The olive oil is going to hopefully prevent the butter from burning. We're going to melt that up. Look at that. I'm going to crank it up a little bit high just to get things going here.
So while you're doing that, you've got a hello from Kevin McLeany in Toloma, Tennessee. And it's
Hey,
a happy
Tennessee.
Valentine's.
Nice. All right, so what's happening right now? The butter is starting to foam. That's typical. Those are the milk solids in the butter. So when you make browned butter, like brown buttered sage, it's the milk solids that turn brown and nutty. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this butter foam. Once that foaming subsides, pan's ready. So then we'll put the steaks in there. Let me just grab a pair of tongs here.
And as you keep doing that, we've got Gary Knecht, we've got Lisa Loby and Trey.
What's up, Gary?
Everybody's saying hello, and Michael Garabian.
Happy, I want to say Thanksgiving. I got Thanksgiving on the front.
You said that the other
Happy
day.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Dan Olson, he said it's six below in North Dakota.
Oh, boy.
And Joe Pitt said he prefers Crown Royal over the cognac.
All right. Well, I only cook with cognac. I don't drink, so I'm guessing if I did drink, I would have the best of the best, because only the best will do for the Grateful Chef. Anyway, so we've got that foaming has subsided. we're going to put a quick sear. I'm going to crank it now. Put these in. They should all fit in here.
And you've got a what's up from John Tolson.
Hello, John. All right, those are in our butter and our olive oil. And there's a little weight on there. Let's do a couple minutes. While we're searing, we are going to talk about this week's Send a Shirt, See the Shirt. So that program has been great. People have been sending me their t-shirts, and I'll show them as I get them. So the idea is that you send me a large black t-shirt with your food-related product or restaurant, and I will do a little 1-minute spiel on them. So, and that 1 minute starts right now, right?
It was like 10 seconds there.
Got it. Here we go. So this week we're talking about Hobbies. Hobbies Delicatessen, Newark, New Jersey. Hobbies is an amazing throwback place. It's been there since 1962. It's run by the Brummer family, and it is an old-fashioned Jewish deli right in the heart of downtown Newark, a block away from where the Devils play. So they have hours to accommodate people going to the game. They still pickle their own corned beef in-house in 50-gallon stainless steel vats. They've been doing it since 1962. They have pastrami and brisket, potato pancakes, and matzo ball soup, and a whole bunch of other Eastern European delicacies that you expect at a Jewish deli. They also have this really cool thing called Operation Salami Drop, and what that does is they ship salami to the boys in the Army. They ship salami to the the men and women in our armed forces, and they have shipped, let me get this right, 18 tons of salami to people that are serving this country, feeding them really well. It's awesome. They're at 32 Branford Place at Halsey Street in Newark. They're open 7:15 to 4:15 Monday through Friday. Saturdays 10:45 to 2:45, and they close on Saturdays in the summer. Good move. And when there is a home game from New Jersey Devils, they are open until game time. So if you're at Newark Airport with a layover, get in an Uber and go to Hobbies Deli. You will not be disappointed. Absolutely incredible food there. So, that being said,
We're going to come in and take a look.
we're flipping. Remember, dry aged beef cooks about 25% quicker. So we're going to put a quick sear on this side. Look at that. Gorgeous. So we're going to get a platter. And I'm going to take them off. Oh, hello. The real quick sear. My little bacon press. Nice.
And we've got Wayne Sandinese, or hello, first time.
Hey Wayne, thanks for
Coming in from
jumping
Vermont.
in from Vermont.
Yes.
Snow up there, huh? All right. So good. We've got a sear. I'm going to put these on a plate. I'm just going to let them rest. We're going to finish cooking them in this awesome sauce. Yeah, I think I just coined a phrase, honey.
Awesome sauce?
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, I think you're a little late on that one.
All right. Let me put this in the sink. It's real hot. Fantastic. All right. So, while these are resting, we've got another pan over here, my Meeson, trusty Meeson pan. We're going to put a little heat on this. And we are going to put some butter in here.
It smells really good.
Yeah, it does. I'm going to put a little butter in here. I'm going to put a little heat on the stove, on the oven, because I want to heat up our potatoes. All right, again, we're melting the butter. And this butter we're going to put in our shallots. You could use onions if you want. I like shallots. It's a little more refined flavor. And this is an elegant dish. Real simple though. Few ingredients. The other ingredients are, so that we got the shallots. We've got the Dijon mustard. We've got some Worcestershire sauce. We've got some heavy cream. The two things that I am adding are mushrooms. These are these cute little white mushrooms that I found in the market. I just kind of sauteed them up in a little butter. And we also are going to use some cognac. The recipe I'm using does not use cognac. I'm adding it. You know, why not?
Because I like cognac and
And
mushrooms.
because it's Valentine's Day. All right, here we go. We got that foaming again. In go our shallots. And we just want to soften those up. We don't really want to brown them.
You got a hello from Steve Hopkins Jr.
Here comes Steve. What's up, Steve? Any of Dom's friends on there watching?
Truckers on the road.
Yeah. That's awesome. So that's cool. You'll be in Jersey once a month or so. All right, so shallots also will cook a little faster than onions. Let me get my phone. Make sure we've got the recipe going correctly. All right. So yeah, we're cooking these for just about a minute. Just want to get them soft.
And Sabrina said hi.
Hey, Sabrina. All right. Awesome.
Okay, I love the smell of those things.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very aromatic. Love it. All right. So this, is that my phone? Oh, your phone? All right, so this is where I'm going to add the cognac. What's going to happen is, we're going to have a little fire, but what's going to happen is it's really going to slow down the cooking of the shallot. So I'm taking the pan off the heat.
Fire!
Woo! Uh-oh. That's all right. So we're going to let that reduce. What's happening is the cognac flavor is reducing right now. Turn that down. All right, I'm going to stir in our mustard. This is a nice Dijon mustard. That's going in. It's going to add another level and another depth of flavor. So far, butter, shallots, cognac, and mustard. Nice Dijon. And this is really what's going to flavor the cream. Awesome. All right. I'm pouring in the Worcestershire sauce. Again, this is going to add umami. It's really going to add yet another layer. So nice, real strong flavors here. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. There we go. At this point, a little bit of salt. And now, we are going to add our cream. Now this is going to infuse the cream. All these really strong flavors is going to infuse this cream. You can see that the cream will go from white. It'll get a nice tan color from the mustard, from the Worcestershire sauce. Now we want to bring this up to a boil and then lower it down a little bit. Because what's going to happen is the cream is going to thicken. At this point, no, I think I'm going to leave the mushrooms. You can put them in now. I think I'm going to leave them to the very end because they're already cooked. So let's get this cranking. Let's see, it's already going. Yes, Lynn.
I say Chris Fife is out there. Give you a little wave.
What's up, Chris? All right, and this, you know, I'm going to add this. This is a little red wine reduction sauce that I had left over. So I'm going to pour that in. Again, more flavor. All right, now it's starting to boil, so I'm going to turn it down. And I want it to simmer. And now we're going to put our steak back in. And this is where the steaks are going to cook all the way. We're going to flip them over. We really want this sauce to kind of glaze the steak. And then at the end, we are going to pour it right over our steak. So there you go. Beautiful. This is awesome. Swirling it around. The juices from the steak, I want to make sure I pour that in, if there's any. Usually there are, but this is dry aged, so we don't get so much of that myoglobin that you would if you were using unaged steak, which you could very well do with this recipe. it does really well. So now we're just thickening the sauce. We're coating our steaks. And you want to flip them over several times. Because as the sauce thickens, it will begin to adhere to the steak. And you want them to evenly cook. Gorgeous. At this point, I will add some pepper. Copious amounts. This is a recipe that really supports a lot of pepper. Nice. We are almost in the home stretch already. See how easy this is? Nice. Flipping it over. Great recipe. So, what is everyone else cooking for Valentine's Day? That's what I want to know.
What I want to know is, am I getting this twice?
No, this is your Valentine's Day. Friday will be a day of rest.
I
Or
see.
Chinese food. I'm guessing that you don't eat on the road like this usually. Well, sometimes you go to restaurants. I've seen you doing some check-ins.
Yeah, you know,
That's cool.
I try to hit up the well-known spots.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Wherever you go, you can.
I'll say you should check out our website.
Okay.
So just for any of the restaurants up here, so it's more the
Yeah, I hit them up
more
one time.
casual,
when I was in,
yeah.
New York.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, plenty in New York, right?
Yep.
All right, so this is going great. I am going to add these mushrooms.
Yes. Dan Olson was helping you out with the, how to say, Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Whatever.
I always say Worcestershire,
He said Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. What's this here sauce? I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. It's that brown stuff.
Y'all knew what he was talking about.
All right. It's all I know is it's like umami in a bottle. Yeah, so this is getting really nice now. I'm going to taste the sauce because you want to make sure the seasoning is proper.
And what are you looking for in that flavor?
Really, the salt and pepper. It's good. Perfect. Love it. This is great. How do you like your steak? See, and that's an interesting thing because this is not a dish where you really need to worry about making it exactly medium rare because, you know, it's covered in the sauce and it's tender. And this dish is almost more about the sauce than it is the actual steak.
Mark Purcell is already looking for the recipe, so I'll get that out there later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Collins would like to taste it.
Awesome. So if you think that this is getting a little thick too quick and the steak's not cooked, you can always add a little bit more, not half and half, heavy cream. Can't hurt. You want to thin it out a little bit. You can always keep adding until it's at the spot where you want it to be.
So Kevin McQueenie said he's going to be cooking 60 days steak ager, dry aged prime rib on Valentine's.
Awesome. That's always good.
That is a good Valentine's.
I'm going to check our temperature because that's really the only way to tell accurately.
And what temperature are you looking for?
So it's at 125, 130. That's perfect for me. So these are going to come out. I'm actually going to shut it off. I'm going to put these back on our platter. So I don't really want them to cook much more. Nice. And we're going to go over and we're going to start plating. All right, so let's go over here, babe. All right, so we are serving this on our potato flowers. So again, I want you to look at these. Okay, Hopefully it's not too shiny.
It's not bad.
So basically what I did was I sliced my potatoes on a mandolin. I laid parchment paper down with a little bit of a spray of oil. You just kind of lay them on top of each other with one in the center, and you bake them 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and you get these beautiful, well, you can flip them over because they look more like a flower. You could do them this way, whatever you want to do. So this is going to be the base of our dish. Let's go with this one. Yeah, we'll go with this one. That over. A little heat on the back here. Should be hot enough. All right. We're going to place our steak Diane right on top. And our side dish today is cream kale. I'm not a huge fan of kale, but I found this recipe, and it's, again, got shallots, it's got kale, cream, some butter, really, really nice. So we're going to put some of that on our plate. Yes, dear.
Joe Farragon, he's had a question from earlier. He said, tell us about myoglobin if you could. I know a lot about people confuse it with blood, but it's actually protein breakdown blood and caused by myocardial reaction. Is this correct?
That is correct.
And how would you...
So it is not blood. So anybody who says to me, I don't like to cut a steak and all the blood comes out, it's not blood. It is protein that's diluted that comes out of the steak. Dry aged beef, you don't really get that, because
Why is that?
Well, because we've taken a lot of the moisture out, and the myoglobin stays in the steak. All right, so here we've got our sauce, and what we want to do is, fancy term in culinary school, nappe. So you really want it to coat your steak just like that. And what happens is the sauce will also kind of reconstitute some of the crispy potatoes. And that's the dish, folks. You can serve it with other sides, whatever you like. It's really fantastic. We're going to taste it, as always, as we always do in the home stretch. Let's see what we got here.
And as you're cutting that, Mark Rochelle says, what thickness on the mandolin to cut the potatoes?
Thin.
Okay. And John DeCapow said he did 120 days on his last ribeye, and it was amazing.
Nice. See if I can do this without. Mmm.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's tasty. Now, of course, tenderloin, super tender. What we're looking for here is that concentrated beef flavor. Mmm. And a totally different texture if you were doing unaged beef. Really juicy. Even after 15 days, you're getting some benefit from doing that dry aging. Concentrated flavor, great texture. Got these potatoes, so they're soft in the middle. They are crispy on the edges. Let's see. Pick it up with my fingers.
And for anybody that's looking for the recipe, I'm going to put it on to Eating with Chef Eric website, and then I'll post a link onto the different pages where...
And of course, the cream kale, just like cream spinach, a little bit elevated, really nice. Amazing. So, you can see that I threw this together pretty quick. You can too. There's not a whole lot of prep. Nice fillets. Again, you can do surf and turf, do other things that go with this great mustard sauce. And again, look at this beautiful filet mignon. What could be bad? So, with that being said, I got hungry mouths to feed over here. So we are going to close, as always, by saying, be well, eat well, be kind, be nice, and love each other, not just on Valentine's Day, but every darn day of the year. And we will see you on the next Grateful Chef video right here in my kitchen with me, Chef Eric Eisenbud. Peace.